that you do exactly, though? You said you work for a software?
Yeah, I do an SVP of growth for a software company, a weather technology company.
Oh, cool.
Oh, we're live right now?
I believe it started.
Okay.
Yeah, we are live. Yes, it's live. Cool. So welcome everybody to the Rodcast Mobile Podcast, where we have conversations with motivated people for the purpose of motivating people. I'm here with Evan, and he's motivated about software.
I'm motivated by software as a vehicle for income, I suppose.
No, that's good though, right? Because I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't focus on the actual income aspects of a lot of things. Like people want to dismiss the income aspects of their job as if it's not important, but I feel like it's very important, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, I wouldn't be working if they weren't paying me.
Exactly. And then people always talk about, well, let's find a job that you can work for, that you, if you would do it, you would do it for free. Like you've heard that statement before, but
sure.
I don't think anybody should work for free personally. Myself. How long you been in the software though?
I've been in and out of different software companies, specifically software as a service. So the company I work for is a SaaS business. Instead of playing it's a subscription business, so our customers pay us on a monthly basis through annual contracts. I've been in growth or marketing or sales for SaaS businesses in multiple capacities for the last 10 years or so, 12 years. Before that, I was selling digital media.
So, like, is it sales that makes you passionate, or would you say, because it sounds like it's everything in the realm of sales and marketing?
Yeah, I mean, I think sales and marketing is just what I'm good at.
Okay.
But I think the thing I enjoy is, I've worked at larger companies, I've worked at smaller companies, and I feel that what I'm good at and where I add.
Larger company, or you just prefer the smaller ones?
I wouldn't be good in a large company, man.
You don't think so?
No, there's, they're just very different. Not that one is better than the other, but I'm someone that likes to make a lot of what I would call decision-making at-bats, so I like to just go very quick, make mistakes. I don't really care if I make a mistake. I think if you make a mistake, you learn and you try, and you just have a lot more ability to do that at startups. Now that said, you're always flying a little close to the sun, so it's a very aggressive and high-pressure environment, but that's what I'm good at. That's what I like doing. I think if I were in a more corporate, large company environment, people would not like my work style and how I'm very aggressive. So it just depends, I think. And I'm just not good at that. It's not what I want to do. I like
it sounds like you're like really big on, like, you really like to build things, build companies, and build the people that are around you. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, for sure. I think most people that kind of have similar characteristics that I just described, like waking up and not knowing what they're going to be doing that day, and building something and creating something, I think is a channel that you can put that energy into.
Would you, or have you ever thought about building your own business to, the large level corporate?
Yeah.
Level that you want? And what I mean by that is like having your style, but just in your own business.
I mean, I've been a professional for 15 years, so I'm just about 35 years old. I think you learn what you're good at, you learn what you're not good at, and I'm not good at 0 to 1. I'm also not good at 10 to 100, so that's what I would call like more enterprise. You get middle management coming in, you get a lot of process introduced, which is necessary for a business as they scale. It's not what I'm good at. I'm good for taking something that has traction, a 0 to 1 product, and taking it to 10.
Yeah.
So scaling. I am strong at scaling in a nebulous environment, but I'm not good at like the 10 to 100 phase. So I don't think I would start something because it's just not how my brain works.
Makes sense. I understand that. How did you pinpoint like what your strengths were over the years?
How did I pinpoint what? Sorry.
What your strengths were over the years?
I think you just learn, man. I think you kind of find your groove like you do in anything. I played sports growing up, and I quickly learned basketball is not my thing. I quickly learned soccer's not my thing, track's not my thing. I was always a hockey and a football guy. Which is kind of funny because those sports are like you're 0 or 100, which is kind of analogous to a startup or early stage company environment. So I think it's just part of things you learn about yourself and part of things that you find out about yourself as you get more reps in. Just learn where you're good and where you're not good, how to channel your strengths.
Do you like to create the environment that you're in, or do you feel as though you like to put yourself into an existing environment that fits your personality?
That's a good question. I think probably a bit of both.
Okay.
I think I like to go into environments where there is flexibility and enough room for me to be myself. Yeah.
But so a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I think there's got to be the right conditions for me to be myself and to kind of carve my own path and build something within a framework that is conducive to how I like to work and where I can add value.
Okay. Like what conditions do you usually look for?
I like to see from a working environment perspective, or from a company perspective.
Both.
See, this last company I'm at a company called Periweather. Periweather is a weather technology. We monitor severe weather at a microclimate level. So we install hardware on our customer sites, and we alert them whenever weather could potentially impact our operations from a safety perspective, from a risk standpoint, from an operational standpoint. So, when I was looking at this my next company, my last company, I was working on legal technology. We're a system of record for law firms.
Okay.
What I found what I really enjoy and what I'm good at, even at a more granular level than a smaller early stage company, are ones that you're selling into a specific vertical. So why that's exciting is because you know who you're selling to, you get to intimately understand their problems, and you can build products that are really niche and interesting and sticky.
And it sounds like you feel more fulfilled when you do sell.
Yeah, selling and selling marketing is all the same thing. I'm not typically one to interface with the customer.
Oh, okay.
But I work very closely with sales to ensure that all of our go-to-market strategies are aligned with our different teams. So
makes sense.
I like products that you're selling to a specific person, so you can get very deep as opposed to horizontal, so vertically focused. I also look for products that have product market fit already, or companies that have product market fit already. Like I mentioned earlier, that 0 to 1 stage is just not something I'm good at. There's a little bit of traction there, and you've got some viable product market fit. That's when I can come in and really put gas in the fire. So those are two big things I look at, and then just the leadership. Are they similar to me? Are they aligned with my values and what I prioritize? And do they have a similar burn and energy to put their career pretty high on their list as it relates to their priorities, which is high on my list.
Now you went to college, right? Mm-hmm. What school would you say?
I went to Texas Tech University.
Oh, nice. Now, do you feel as though on a day-to-day basis for your job, or any of the jobs that you work, that the degree that you have is being put to use?
That's a very, I think it's a topic that's talked a lot about a lot right now. I don't think, if you were to ask me, the courses you took, do you use that raw knowledge that you learned from the professor in your day-to-day life? No.
Okay.
That said, my degree was in restaurant, hotel, and institutional management, which is what I thought I wanted to do in college.
Okay.
However, would I go to college again? Absolutely. I think the reason for that really is, you are committing to something, and it's kind of like the first step as an adult. It's like purgatory for adults.
Okay.
You are committing to a long-term goal. I'm going to be here for 4 years, and mom's not going to wake me up, dad's not going to wake me up, professor's not going to give a rip if I show up or not. He's just going to give me the grade. So I have to own the outcomes of what I'm responsible for.
Yeah.
It's a little more sheltered. You're not paying taxes yet. Most people aren't paying taxes yet. You're not.
No, but it's understandable because it's not like going to high school where you, like you said, your parents are waking you up and you have to go by these rules. You have to actually discipline yourself.
Yeah. For an extended period of time. You got to commit. You got to be resilient. So I think college is good for a long-term, multi-year commitment, and you can see something through. I think when I'm hiring and looking at people, I think that is something I typically notice.
So when you're hiring,
you're around other college-educated people. So you just, by nature of being around people who are able to get into college, I think you just elevate yourself by spending a couple of years around people like that who are equally ambitious.
Makes sense. I never, and it's funny, I never really thought about that aspect of college, but I think that is an important aspect of it. I usually look at college, especially if you're in any business field, like the best to do is to network with the people who are around you.
That for sure.
And to get good with networking. But I never thought of it from that responsibility level because, growing up, I knew people who were not going to college but had to be responsible on their own. So when I hear that, that does make sense though. That does make it seem, somewhat useful. It's interesting to hear that you would still go over it again. Would you change your degree though ahead of time?
I don't know, man. It's easy to say. I love where my life is now. I love my wife and daughter. I love the job I have, the people I get to wake up and work with every day. So I think if I were to change my degree, I'd probably change all that. So I think my answer would be no.
That's interesting. So when you first got out of college, did you go directly into restaurant?
No. So in college, I also sold ads for the college newspaper. Texas Tech's college newspaper is the Daily Toriador. So my job was basically just to cold call, go out to businesses in Lubbock, where Texas Tech is.
Yeah.
And try to get them to buy digital ad space on dailytoriador.com and on the physical newspaper. So that's how I got my first job. So that was kind of my first foray into advertising and marketing.
So you were already doing this?
Yeah, I was doing it for like 2 years in college, mostly because I got a good parking spot, and I don't know, it was kind of cool to say I worked for the Torador.
Oh, okay.
But ended up paying dividends later in life, I suppose.
No, it definitely does, because it got you in motion as to the things that you're doing later on.
Yeah.
As far as the sales that I do, my sales is door-to-door sales, and one thing you mentioned I thought was really interesting was the aspect of everything not being the same on a day-to-day basis. I think how things change up keeps everything fresh. I think people are more interested in working at jobs like that. I feel like it's more motivating though.
Yeah.
Do you struggle to find the right people when you're hiring them?
Yeah, I'd say hiring's the hardest part, man. Especially as you get bigger. When you're small, you're 10 to 20 people. The nuclear power source is close to the customer, being the founder and leadership. But you start hiring more people, especially when we start hiring middle managers. You get further and further away from that nuclear power source, and things get challenging. So you got to make the right hires, because those people are the ones that are going to be executing the work as you kind of get further and further away from that. So it's absolutely, I think, the most critical part of building a company.
Do you find that the hiring style needs to be different depending on the type of business that you're in, as far as the personality of the individual you're looking for?
I wouldn't change my hiring style based on individual, but I think based on each company, yeah. You go to... So my interview process is pretty short. It's just 3 interviews. I like to do an intro interview. I usually have a project assessment where I assign them some work. They present that to me, and then they come in and they meet the team.
Okay.
That's it. So I usually try to make a decision pretty quickly. And generally, just my gut has been pretty accurate. I trust my gut a lot more than probably most people do.
You should. I made many huge errors in hiring the wrong people, even with the desperation of bringing someone on. I feel like that could be a mistake, and I feel like if deep down something's telling you this might not be the right person, I've learned it's best to go with that.
Yeah, you're right. Your gut is right more than it's not. It can still be wrong.
It can be, but I feel like you're better off putting your trust into that as opposed to a desperation and need to get to a certain level.
Yeah.
If growth for the company is what you're trying to get for, that's great. But if you're hiring the wrong people, I've seen companies hire nothing but the wrong people and, struggle. And I've seen companies with less people but better quality of people and do much, much better, especially in the realm of sales. So if you're, like you say, if you're trusting your gut, I feel like that is the best way to, go about doing everything.
Yeah. I think trust your team too, there's people that I've been really bullish on in the past that I've got some blind spots to. Your gut's got blind spots. So bring in some other people, let them talk to them, and then listen to their opinion, especially if you trust that person. So,
makes sense. You said bullish. You're into the stock market too?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. I just thought that was.
I'm a pretty boring investor. I chuck my money into index funds and I don't look.
That's probably the smartest thing to do. Is that what your gut's telling you to do?
Yeah, that's what my gut tells me to do, because I don't have time to manage it.
Yeah, if you have time to manage it, I'll say manage it. But if that's working for you, I would say go for it.
Not many index or the S&P doesn't get beaten by personally managed funds too often. So I'll take the average and not, especially if it comes without the stress.
Especially if your money is multiplying, right?
Yeah.
The stress can be a bit much when it comes to the stock market. And especially even when it comes to the options market. That's interesting though. So you have any goals moving forward? Anything that you plan on doing as far as the future is concerned?
I don't. It's always I think that question, if you asked me that a couple of years ago, my answer would be totally different. So if I'm honest honest, I don't really set goals long term. I think I set goals in a 1-year window.
Okay.
I just know that I don't really have a good answer for that, man.
No, I mean, that
I
sounds
guess my
like
answer is
a
I
good
don't
answer.
have a lot of goals. I wanna be financially in a position that I can support my family without stressing about it. There's no objective or binary point where I can say I've achieved that. I think it's just something that constantly drives you. And I want to be a good father to my daughter and my upcoming second daughter.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I
Congratulations.
want to be a good husband to my wife. I think that if I can do those things, then I think I'll have a happy life.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, listen, Evan, I appreciate everything. I mean, everything that you're saying, I can agree with. It's spot on. There's nothing wrong. I feel like, especially in the sales realm, like we put a lot of emphasis on like having goals and setting goals and stuff like that. But I feel like at some point in time, it gets to add to that desperation I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Like you need to add this many more people, or you need to do X number of sales, and the number keeps going up, and you're constantly shooting for that number. And then occasionally you'll hit, and occasionally you'll miss. But I mean, I feel like it's a bad focus though. So I can agree with you on having that long-term set of a goal. Sometimes you gotta, like you say, trust your gut and go with the flow of everything.
Yep.
Anything that you want to add though?
I don't know, man. I think that's about it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it with you. Thanks for second time spending a car ride to the airport with you. So enjoyed the time with you here.
And hopefully it was great for anybody and everybody that's watching. You guys have a good day.